That was probably the best month of my life. I think just being around you guys, just being around people that love hockey and are so competitive, that was the coolest thing.
Yeah, I gotta keep it trendy on my soul. I'm the most selfish person that I know. Here we go, down the rabbit hole. Got a couple carrots round my neck. Self-respect, when you out of line, you put yourself in check.
Welcome to the Keller and Kess Show. I'm Megan Keller. And I'm Amanda Kessel.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the most recent episode with Kayla Barnes. She's definitely a young stud on our team and has been for a while. And now we have another interview coming up with another youngster, Hannah Bilka. So stay tuned for that a little later on. This intro may be a quicker one today. We're filming it in the morning. Kess and I just woke up. She's off to work in a few minutes, and I'm going to work out. So we're just having this over our morning coffee, and should be a fun one. Hopefully we don't stumble too much.
Usually, when we're on the road, we sleep in.
To the last possible second. Yeah.
We take advantage of any...
I made a comment one time, shouldn't we get down a little earlier? All of the eggs are going to be gone. I just know it. We have a bunch of early risers. Everybody's up and at 'em. And Kess and I, if breakfast is at 9, we're waking up at 8:45.
Yeah.
We're trying to get down there by 9.
Yep. And Meg was all worried that her...
Yeah, you were laughing at me.
We weren't going to get any food. The girls scarf it up before we get down there. So.
Yeah, they cleaned it up. Because we went down there, and sure enough,
no eggs. Nope. But you know what? We're just taking care of our bodies and...
Yep. We're listening to our bodies.
Yep. We need the sleep.
More sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs something.
Yep.
So do you want to talk about this weekend? Where we were, what we were doing?
Yeah. Pretty awesome weekend with the PWHPA. Washington Capitals are always great hosts, always treat us.
Yeah, they were awesome.
Yeah, very professional there. Had great TV coverage. I think were all 4 of our games on NHL Network.
I believe so.
At least 2 of them were, which was great. I had a lot of comments that people saw me on TV this weekend. So
yeah. A quick side note, did you walk into mailroom and you saw the production?
Yeah.
Of them putting on the game?
Yeah.
I don't know why I had no idea. There was so many monitors,
Mm-hmm.
guys on headsets, camera 4, camera 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, you're just thinking there's one camera filming the entire ice.
Well, it usually is for our games. Usually it's live barn, usually.
That's it. So we had a goal review in our game, and we're there's no way there was a camera on that angle. And then we looked down, and there was a camera directly on the goal line. But
yeah, sometimes they just tell us, no goal review.
Yeah.
Not allowed.
I think for the finals, though, coming up this weekend, they said there will be goal reviews. Yep.
Challenges?
Yep, challenges. So
good, because we've had a few of those this year, I think.
Mm-hmm. So that will be good. We'll see who comes away with it.
Yeah.
Out in LA and Palm Springs.
Kess and I played again this weekend. It was not a good showing.
Yeah. There was some rough moments. It looked
it's
weird.
All right. We made it through, but by far, I think one of my favorite stops on the tour was this one. One, because I just love DC, but this one especially, too. There's so many young fans in the stands. That was exciting to see. Keller and Kess show had some new merch.
Yeah.
I saw a few of the girls rocking. 2 of our teammates, Haley and Abby, were out in the stands interviewing fans. So stay tuned for that. I'm excited to see what they got up to. There's no telling what questions they were asking.
No, I'm sure a lot of it had to be cut, but
yeah. I was sitting on the bench and looked across the stands, and I saw those 2 in the mix with everybody asking questions, and it distracted me for a second.
Well, that's scary. That is scary.
It's a scary sight.
And we had a chirp fest. Meg and I were mic'd up because we were playing each other, and we couldn't hear each other. So it's you're just chirping to
funniest part.
nobody.
I was just skating around talking to myself, and finally, like, one girl on our team was like, "Are you talking to somebody?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm talking to that camera guy." I, like, was stretching. I looked over at Rob. I was like, "Can you hear me right now?" And he was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I
But
couldn't
you
hear
had some good
anything.
ones. I think you always have some good chirps.
I'm not a chirper, really, so neither of
You
us
should
are.
be, because I don't really say much. I'm more
Yeah,
just
so
like
that'll be
stubborn.
funny. I'm looking forward to seeing that come out.
I think there's a comment about my pink scrunchie.
Yep, the pink scrunchie made it.
Yep. I think my mom thinks it's cute.
It is cute, okay? It makes you look
Middle
younger.
school
Maybe I need to do
scrunchie.
that. Add in
Yeah.
pink
Yeah, you just
scrunchie.
shove your ponytail up under your helmet.
Yeah, add in some color there. Other than
Yep,
that,
so that was a good weekend.
coming up after that, then we have tryouts for World Championships out in Blaine.
Yep.
Like I think a 5-day tryout. We'll practice a couple times, and then have 3 games. Be 2 teams worth of players there, and then select a team and off to Toronto. Hopefully, both of us
Hopefully
are.
we're there.
Yeah.
Road roomies.
Yep. Road roomies.
Yeah.
Hopefully, same team at camp. That would be nice.
Yeah, we never really are,
Yeah.
I feel like.
Never. No. Always against each other.
Yeah. Always got to take one-on-ones versus Kess. Hope
Oh,
she doesn't make me look
I never
silly.
beat you. It's not my
One-on-ones are
thing.
hard.
Yeah. But Hannah Bilka, who's coming on this show, she'll be there. She made her debut last year at Worlds. She's one of the young players, had a great showing. So looking forward to seeing her development a year later. I think she's going to be, a big piece of Team USA going forward.
Yeah. And I hope her family is there again. You remember when she scored a hat trick?
No.
And I think Pisces too. Her dad was chucking his hat on the
Oh,
ice.
yeah.
And then the people kept giving it back. And then somebody else got a hat trick, so he threw it again. And she's like, "Oh my God."
Yeah. I was sitting next to her in the locker room, and it was awesome.
Well, yeah, you're probably going to have some like cavities if you continue to sit by her.
Yeah, this kid crushes
Sour
candy
candy.
like all
Like
before
a
the game,
whole
during the game,
glass.
just bags of candy. But
Yeah, she loves it.
Yeah,
and
it
she's
doesn't-
just like smile on the whole time. She's like,
yeah, the biggest smile.
yeah, she's one of the
Likes
best ones to be around. She's a lot of fun.
Yeah, she keeps it loose. It's good. But
Yeah, she does.
yeah,
And she'll pick up the aux every now and then.
yep. Just into the music. We need that.
Yeah, good energy.
Other
So
than
that's
that,
really about it. Oh, we got our championship weekend for PW.
Yeah,
Did you mention that?
yeah. Briefly,
Oh, okay.
out to
Well, we're
LA.
heading to LA
Yep.
Thursday. Championship weekend. I think my team plays your team in the semis.
Semis. Yeah.
Yeah. You say semis.
Yeah.
I say semis.
Semi truck.
Yeah. Yep.
Semi-final. Semi-final. Yeah.
Semis.
It's probably It probably is semis.
What, like how to say it?
Yeah.
No, I think yours is right too.
We'll
I
see.
feel like it's like aunt.
Let us know. Is it semis or semis?
Do you say aunt?
Aunt.
You say
Aunt. I
aunt?
think I say aunt.
Yeah, I say aunt.
And randomly
And-
we'll
and
toss
I'm
an
a
aunt.
hot person,
Yeah.
not soda.
Well, get to the gym.
Yep.
Enjoy.
You get to work. All right.
Enjoy this week's episode with Bilka. She's an awesome kid. We'll be back after our championships and
Yep.
see you next
Hopefully
time.
with some good news.
Yep. One of us better win.
Yeah.
Not, then we're
I
out.
mean, the odds are good,
Yeah.
but
50%.
we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Hope you guys enjoy this interview with Bilks. Make sure to like and subscribe wherever you're listening. Follow us on Instagram, Keller and Kess Show, and watch on TorchPro's YouTube channel. Also, be on the lookout for merch at torchpro.com.
Welcome, everybody. We have a new face on the block today. She just had her women's national team debut at the 2022 World Championships. A current senior for the Boston College Eagles. Let's go Eags. She's a walking highlight reel, and she just loves hockey. This girl watches the most NHL highlights I've ever seen. And she even came from working the men's game tonight and doing some stats to our podcast. So welcome, Hannah Bilka. Thanks for coming and joining our pod today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me, guys.
We actually heard that you made us reach out to your media person.
Yeah.
Were you like, are you nervous about what we're going to ask you? Or
No, she just made it clear I have to ask before
ask
I
for
come.
permission.
Ask for
And
permission
you
before
follow
I
the
can
rules.
play with my friends.
All
Yeah.
right.
But I don't even think of it like a official podcast because it's just you guys. Like it's just,
Yeah,
it's my
casual.
friends.
That's how we
Chilling.
are.
Yeah.
All right. We thought you were going to maybe be a little nervous. It's like the New York Times in here,
Yeah, I am a little bit,
as you should be.
as you should be.
So if a kid from Texas, like, how do you get into hockey?
Yeah, so short story is my brother played hockey and I always looked up to him. But long story is my sisters figure skated and then my parents were like, do you want to figure skate? And I was like, no. And like, I want to play hockey. And they were like, that's not happening. And I like interrogated them. I was like, no, I want to play hockey. And so I like went to all my brother's practices and games and just like every day I was like, can I play hockey? Can I play hockey? And they were like, girls don't play hockey. Like, no. And so I would literally go behind like the Zamboni door and just like shoot on the net, like with my stick, just like on the concrete. Cause I just I loved the sport and just like wanted to be my brother. And then I rollerbladed. And then finally one day, my parents were like, "Oh my God, she's so annoying! Like, just
let her play,
yeah,
please."
just put her in." So, yeah, the rest is history. I played soccer for a little bit, and then I was like,
I could sense that in the soccer circle.
Yeah,
You're pretty good.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I was like, this sport isn't as cool as hockey, like,
Yeah,
so.
you just loved it from
Yeah.
the first day you tried it. Are you the youngest of your siblings? Or are you in the middle?
I'm the youngest. Yeah, so I have a brother who's 23, a sister who's 26, and then an older sister who's 28. So, yeah.
And you are from Texas, so we had one of your teammates on another episode, and they told us to ask about your Texas accent. Can you give us one?
I could have a Texas accent. No, I mean Dallas no one has accents, but when people they're like, "Where's your accent?" And I'm like, I always say I'm a mutt because I lived in Texas, went to Minnesota, Boston, so it's just this weird, unique way of talking. I think sometimes I will say big.
Yeah.
And I just where did that come from? I don't even know.
The Midwest.
I don't even know. Yeah.
I get called out on that one a lot.
Yeah. I sometimes say y'all, but that's about it.
You're a world traveler in the U.S.
Yeah.
Were your parents athletic? Like, what kind of influence did they have?
Yeah, my dad played soccer in college, just a small college, and then my mom played tennis. So they're athletes. They're very athletic, but yeah, no relation to hockey. They're from Buffalo, so they love the Sabres, but they never played.
So how'd your brother get started? Like, how did you guys get introduced as a family to hockey?
Yeah, we lived by a rink, and then it's a funny story. So when my mom was having my brother, they were watching the Stars game, or no, the Sabres game, and my mom was at the game, she was watching it at the hospital.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Can I just have my damn baby already?" And she's watching the game while she's trying to have give birth to my brother. But yeah, we just lived by a rink when we were younger, and yeah.
That's unreal. And you mentioned Minnesota, so we've got on here, you end up going to Shattuck St. Mary's,
Yep.
and that's where some of the greatest hockey players, male and female, have gone. Sidney
Yep.
Crosby, Nathan McKinnon,
Amanda
Kessel. What was
Thank
it
you.
like going to such a storied prep school like that and following in the footsteps of those greats? And also, do you have any legendary stories of Amanda Kessel being passed down there?
Oh my
Do we have any
gosh.
dirt on her?
I mean, to answer your first question, Shattuck was probably some of the best memories and experience I've ever had. It's so cool being just so young and around people that love hockey and just want to get better and just all want to play, in college and at the highest level. So it's almost like I describe it you're on a vacation with your best friends and your parents aren't there.
Yeah.
Like,
It's so fun.
it's so fun. Like, no parental supervision, which, you're young, you're making
Yeah, you
stupid
figure
decisions.
it out.
You figure it
You're
out.
like growing up at that time.
Oh
and
my
it's
gosh,
just, like,
yeah.
You have to learn so much about yourself.
You have to be independent. And then, you're living in a dorm. It's basically college when you're like 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And
I gained like the freshman 15, whatever they
In
call
high
it, like
school.
in high school. Like my room was like just packed with snacks, like, and I just
Oh, yeah.
thought it was fine to like
just
eat
eat.
all the time. Like,
Yeah.
Kess, like this still happens. Like we end up in the snack room at
Yeah.
camps and tournaments.
Oh, I
like
know.
I feel like we have meetings at the snack
Yeah.
table.
They're just always shoving food in your face. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, sure.
We're like, sure, I'll have it.
Yeah. I mean, I think every game before our pregame speech, our coach, legend, Gordy Stafford, would always just be like, Amanda Kessel, the Lamoureux twins, Decker, like something about them. Like, be like, I just got a text from Dex, like, Bo, you guys do this, like.
That fire you up?
Yeah. It's just, it's so cool, like, having you guys go through that. And, obviously it's a successful program if, those players made it. And so it's cool to walk in their footsteps.
talk about a few things at Shattuck. I think, from my time to your time, like things changed a little bit.
Yeah.
The gym improvement.
Maybe some nicer facilities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I just even want to know how different it is and like what your training was like while you were there.
Yeah. Well, did they have blended days when you were there?
Yeah, like our Fridays were off.
Yeah.
Like so that we could like play hockey.
Yeah. So did you guys have it where you only went to school twice a week?
No, we went 4 times a week. But
What kind of school is this?
you went twice a week?
So yeah, so it was the blended days because they wanted us to get like
Are you going to
adapted.
get Shattuck in trouble?
No, it's a great school. Great
Yeah,
school.
it's
academically.
unbelievable. I would
Unbelievable.
send my
you should
kids
go
there, yeah.
for sure, 100%. But it was like the blended days to get you adapted to college. And so Tuesday, Thursdays, you could go into like it was class, and then Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, you could like go in for extra help if you needed it. And so basically, like we didn't go into school, and we're just
You're on the ice.
We're on the ice, like. You could shoot pucks, like go on the mini rink. Love that place.
See, I didn't have the mini rink when I was there, and I kept seeing all these videos of people
Oh my
outdoors.
gosh. Me, Lacey Eden, and Grace Campbell, who's our current BC goalie, would just stay out there after school for like hours, shootouts, like. And I was like, that's how you get better and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you're not really thinking about your training, but you're like. You're on the ice like 4 hours of the day, but it was awesome. Like you could just hop on the ice literally whenever, and then like sometimes the guys would be like, "Do you want to scrimmage with us?" Like as Shattuck would say, "Shinny." You would shinny, and so I was like, "Absolutely!" And these guys are like going to the NHL, like they're so good. So yeah, it's just like it's such a like encouraging environment to get better, and yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like I can even see that now, like as your teammate, like in your game, you just try some of like the craziest skilled plays, and it's not even a thought though. Like you're just like doing them because like I feel like you probably are out on the ice all the time, just like practicing these fun moves. You're like, I saw this one on YouTube last night.
No, I mean,
you start working on
like,
it. Like
I think that's what makes hockey so fun is like just trying new things and this kind of new wave of like players to all those skill plays, and I'm like, I want to do that. So I'm
Right up
really
your
not
alley.
even thinking about like I'm going into this game and I'm gonna go through my legs. It's like, oh, if the play's open, like I can do it. Like I'll do it. Like I love trying new things and being creative, and I think that's part of my game that. Yeah, I
love
always
being your teammate when I can go up the ice and see that
I
happen.
would peg you in the first like top 5 to like pull off the Michigan and out of the national team level. So
I tried it this weekend.
I heard actually. I was actually speaking with your
It rolled
coach.
off my stick.
Yep.
It rolled off my stick, but I'm always when I have the puck behind the net, I'm like,
if you get the
should I do
puck
it?
back, it's like
Should
whatever.
I do it? Right. Like, it's always you can be all creative, and it the ice is your playground until you turn the puck at the blue line and you're like, oh shoot, that's a -1.
I mean, at least with the Michigan, you're behind the net.
True.
You're
True.
below the goal line.
Yeah.
You're not toe dragging.
Yeah.
At
And-
the defensive blue or the like last man back.
Yeah. And I think my claim to fame is at Shattuck. I remember like we weren't playing a good team, so I was also just trying stuff because it's like
Your own claim to fame.
Yeah. So I picked up the puck behind the net and I like threw it over like the Zegras, like, and it like landed, and then my friend, like my teammate, she scored, and I remember doing that. And I was like, how did I think of
So
that?
they picked
like,
that one up from you?
I
Are you
think
saying
so.
you did it first?
I think Zegras watched it.
He found the old live barn footage of.
Yes, the live barn footage. It's like so blurry. It's like you can't even see. But yeah.
That is unreal. Do you have any Shattuck questions left?
I'd like to get into a little bit about Gordy Stafford and if there's any stories that stick out with you about him. He's just like one of the best coaches.
Just best coach and person. I think, like, when I made the Worlds team, like, I think my first thought was like, oh shit, I made it. And then the second thought was like all the people that like helped me get there. And Stafford was like the first to my list. And I called him and I was like, I made it. And you know, he's like so even keeled. He's like, okay, nice. Like, what are you going to do there? Like, okay, now like look forward, like to the future, like, you know, play your game. But you know, it's not good enough just making it. Like you have to do well there. So he just is just a great resource, I think, for me. Like if I'm not playing well, but also just like in my personal life, if I ever needed to call him, I could call him.
Yeah, this is just like a plug for Shattuck, but basically, send your
kids
video to like Shattuck.
Funny story. So there was a practice my senior year, and he stressed no phones in the locker room, like, and so like you couldn't even have them in. Like we weren't on them, but like they were just out. And so he was late to practice one day, and I was like, we were like, ooh, like no coach. So like our assistant coach, Coach Boyk, we were like, ooh, girls' day, like no Gordy. And so he was just coming late because he went into the locker room. He grabbed like 10 phones, just skates, like he's straight faced. We're all like, oh my gosh, like what does he have in his hand? It's like 10 phones, and he's like, whatever, take a knee, just on the bench. He's like slams phones like on the bench. On the bench, he's like, what are these? And we're like too stunned to speak, and just like slams his stick on the
I
on the
loved
glass.
when he did
like,
that.
Yeah, he's like, this is the rule, like whatever. Like I'm pretty sure like one of the phones broke.
Like
he
cracked screen.
Slammed it. Yeah, and then he was just like, yeah, we're not practicing.
And you guys thought you were gonna have like a nice, fun little skate.
Yeah, no,
like.
oh my gosh. So we definitely learned our lessons, but I remember it like so vividly because I was like, when he got mad, he got mad.
Yeah.
So do you take your phone in the BC locker room now?
I learned my lesson.
No, she was off the socials for all of Worlds. Like
Yeah.
a young kid staying off the socials. Like,
Detox?
I think
Too much
just, like,
TikTok dancing?
I'm on TikTok. I'll watch TikTok, but
Yeah, I've seen you on there.
I think Instagram, like I don't know. I didn't want to see anything like it's not like they're posting, but I think just like
No, that's awesome.
get my mind off of it and focus on hockey.
You're ahead of your time, because even like that, I remember my first like Olympics, like that was like a main like talking point from some of like the older players, like different time zone. It's also a lot's happening. You're at the Olympics. A lot of people that maybe you haven't spoken to a while are going to reach out, which is awesome to hear from, but there's going to be a lot happening, a lot of coverage. There's just going to be a lot going on, and you should think about maybe finding ways to like mitigate that and focus on hockey and just like enjoy where you were at, which was like cool to hear, because I'm like, why am I living through my phone when I'm at the Olympics?
Exactly.
Like, or
oh my
World
gosh.
Championships.
Absolutely.
Like, all the people I need are like in this locker room.
For sure.
So it's cool to hear you say that.
Yeah. Well, and it's just like you don't want to get to your head, you know, like you have a good game and like
you don't want to see the highlight reels of you.
Like no, like don't.
I'm out there reposting Bilks. I'm like, sick move. Like
no, just focus on the goal. You know what you're trying to do. Like all the personal stuff, set it aside.
So obviously a very driven kid, successful high school career, and then when you were going to decide college, like how did that process go for you? Like what were your top schools?
Yeah.
I was taking a dive on your Instagram.
Oh my gosh.
Yesterday or today.
The legendary photo.
Not the one you're thinking of. We'll get to that. But I don't know. It was like your first post. It was like 2014-15. And it was you in like the yard at BC. Like
Yeah. That
gassing.
photo.
That one?
That photo, yeah.
How
like,
old were you?
I was like maybe 13 years old.
I couldn't tell because you looked the same.
I do. But my first like look of BC, I didn't even talk to the coaches. I was like, I just want to see the school. Like, I think it's the coolest campus ever. I love Boston. So I didn't even meet the coaches. They didn't even know who I was. And I just walked around with my mom.
I'm sure they knew.
No, I mean, I was so young, but yeah, I just walked around and I was like, you know when you go to a school and you're like, I'm going here. Like, it just feels right. So it was always BC, like, number one. And then, you're watching, like, Alex Carpenter, like, Emily Falls, or, like, all those great players. And you're like, I want to be that. And so it, like, gives me chills still talking about it. But, yeah. So how I got into it, though, I actually emailed the coaches. And I was like, hey, I'm going to be at this tournament.
Come watch my game.
Yeah. And so I reached out to them, and they were like, yeah, do you want to come here? And I was like, absolutely.
I'm sure they knew who you were.
Yeah.
Like,
That is hilarious.
I
though,
was
that, like,
so
Bilka's
young.
sending emails.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my gosh,
to see
yeah.
like the player you are now.
I mean,
and like
That's
you
so
really
funny.
Don't know that, but like that's what makes you like such like a great player and teammate, is that like you just sometimes have no idea. You're like,
She
you
loves
have all
the
the
game.
confidence in the
Yeah.
world. You just love the game though, and you're like, all right, well maybe I'll just shoot him an email.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I didn't even, they didn't have to reach out first. I wanted to go there. And then, they reached back and was like,
and the
want to
rest
come
is
here?
history.
The rest is history. Yeah.
that's awesome.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of Alex Carpenter, also we've been reaching out trying to get some info on you, and one of your teammates shared this story about when you came in freshman year, and in the weight room we heard you were benching maybe around 100.
Probably.
110 pounds.
That's generous.
Yeah, was it?
That's
the bar.
generous.
And did anybody come up to you and say something about, well, Carp was in here benching 150 at your age?
No, but
Or-
last year, like
We have
the
some
end of
false
the
info.
end of the year meeting, like the coaches were like, "What are you benching these days?" And it was like, "It's not much." He was like, "Okay, Justin, just to give you some perspective, Carp was benching 175." I was like, "Oh, okay."
All right, to give you some more perspective, Carp is an insane
She
is.
athlete.
Yeah.
Like, she's just so good and just naturally, like,
yeah,
I lift with her all summer at Mike's, and it's crazy the
Yeah.
things she can do. Like,
Yeah.
she's just so powerful.
for sure.
So,
well, I think coming in, like, probably people were like, "She's not strong," so I think they were probably talking about it, but it was just like a known thing, like Bilka is like not strong. And
that's
then I
kinda
knew
going high school to college.
yeah,
though,
exactly.
That's where you get
And
your strength.
yeah, those were my goals. I was like, okay, I need to get stronger and stuff. And I think it's important to be strong off the ice, but I think the real important thing is like hockey strong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how hard can you like keep the puck, like that kind of stuff.
That is so true. They're like different strengths.
Yeah.
I'm
You're,
on
like,
board
very
with
good
that.
at
You know? Like, we're smaller players. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like,
That's
if you're
like, as a
quick,
D,
like,
though, like that's something so noticeable for me. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, about you guys, like I could be like, oh, they don't seem that strong, and then as soon as I go and try and like pin you guys or like lift your stick and like try and get the puck, like you're just like relentless, and you actually are so strong in your sticks. Like,
yeah, then that's the important stuff. And
Yeah.
it's like how quick you are. Like, I heard Johnny Gaudreau, I don't want to compare, but I heard this is just a crazy fact that I'm like, I can't believe. Johnny Gaudreau was like 140 pounds in college.
Johnny Hockey.
Yeah. So I'm like, and he's not tall at all. Maybe a few inches taller than me, but he's one of the best players in the world.
Yeah, he is. He's fun to watch.
Yeah.
yeah, and so then kind of talking about your national team journey, you were on the U18s, played in 2 world championships, winning gold once and 1 silver. Like, how was that, like, kind of starting your career? Like, when did you know that you wanted to play for Team USA, that you wanted to be in the Olympics, like, that you could make the national team?
Yeah.
Like,
This reminds me, I was thinking about like my journey throughout hockey, and I think like U14s, I wasn't like, I was kind of middle of the pack, right? Like I wasn't like, I was talented, but
Interesting.
I wasn't like the standout. Like there were other players I can think of now that were way better than me. And then one of my first camps, U18s, I think it was the first year I made it. Casey Bellamy was my coach, and she was like, we were doing the end of the camp like meetings, and she was like, "Do you have any questions for me?" And I was like, "What? Like, do you have any advice to your younger self, like how you got to where you were?" And I'll remember it so vividly. She was like, "Just work your ass off. Like, just work so hard." And that was like, that's when it hits you. You're like, okay, like I want to be a pro. Like this is what it takes. Like, and so I'll always remember that advice. And so then I made that team, and I kind of, I was like still middle of the pack. I wasn't the best player, like, but just, I think just what you do like daily, how you're getting better individually and just keep working at it and now, it's paid off.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear, because honestly, I like remember watching you. I had graduated from BC, and like you coming in as a freshman, I'm like, who's the players to watch? Like Cora Kinger, like any incoming kids, and they talked a lot about you, and then getting to see you play and develop like over the past 4 years, and now get to play with you, and you came to Worlds and lit it up. It's like you belonged right away.
Yeah.
Because you do, and it's a combination of all that hard work over the years and like your confidence level. So
yeah,
it's awesome to like see you.
Yeah, and it's like, I think too, like just the adversities that I think I faced. Like I was telling Kess, like my freshman year I had shoulder surgery, so that kind of set me back. Like sophomore year I think was like decent for me, but not where I wanted to be. So I think I kind of ramped it up after like the summer going into junior year. I was like, all right, these are my goals. Like this is where I need to be. And then that was after the Olympic tryouts, that June camp. I, got cut, and I was like, all right, this is like, I know where I need to be now. I know what I need to work on. I'm going to work towards it, and, it paid off. So it's cool.
Yeah. And you went into this camp, pre-22 Worlds, like saying you're going to make this team.
I had no expectations. I was just
you
like,
didn't bring dress clothes.
exactly. I really was like, I feel good, but I think that's when I play my best, is when I'm like not thinking about it. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do my best, and the rest will take care of itself. So yeah, that was my mindset.
That's awesome. Yeah, so well deserving. In 7 games played at World Championships, had 5 goals, 7 assists, 12 points in her first tournament. Like, was it everything you expected? Like, the U.S.-Canada rivalry, like what were you surprised about? What did you learn?
Oh my gosh. I still think back and I was like, that was the best month of my life. Not to be dramatic. Like it was so cool. Like
we were locker buddies.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
You two were
I
it was
love
so
good
fun
over there. Like,
and then looking
I'd
across
look over
to
and
the
make eye contact with you, and I'm like, what are these two
remember
talking
when we were like,
about?
what's
like,
our mood today? We're like silly.
We'd
but
be
it's
too silly sometimes. We're like, we gotta like tone
we gotta
it back
lock it
here.
in. But it was good. It was fun sitting next to you, because I like to be like kind of loose before the games, and then there's other people in the locker room like that are like so serious, but that's not my personality.
You gotta find your people.
Yeah. So I like to
We
to
need
be
to
loose.
start like putting in like our recommendations of who we're next to.
I know, it's so important.
It matters.
This could be dangerous. Like, you guys would be eating too many sour straws. Like, I looked across the locker room during Worlds, and Bilks is just going in the back of her stall, and it's like literally Mary Poppins' bag. Like, she just keeps on pulling out like loads
More
and loads
candy.
of sour straws.
Yeah.
And Kess doesn't. You were saying, you're like, I don't normally eat these, but all of a sudden I'm just downing them.
Hannah Bilka's next to me eating sour straws. I gotta try this out. Like
I'm telling you, it's like everyone chirps you when they see you have candy, but then once you pop it out, everyone's like, give me one.
Yeah,
Like-
it's like gum. Anybody have gum?
Yeah,
Anybody have
right. But yeah, that was probably the best month of my life. I think just being around you guys, like just being around people that love hockey and are so competitive, like that was the coolest thing. Like Niter would be, she's a legend, and she's after practice like asking the goalie coach like what should I do here? Like just those like little tangible things that I'm like, okay, this is what like it takes to be the best. And like, yeah, just being around like you guys like on and off the ice was so cool. It was awesome. Obviously, I wish it went differently, but it was a great experience.
More to come. More to
Yeah,
come.
for
But
sure.
speaking of Hill, this
Yeah.
is when we got our hands on that infamous picture
Oh, great picture.
that she actually posted on her Instagram,
Yeah.
right? What year was it?
2014
14?
after the Olympics, yeah.
And it was of you two. It was like at a Texas Selects camp or something, right?
It was a selects camp in New York.
Yeah.
And so she was like the guest speaker, and then I like stayed after, and I was talking to her because obviously I kind of like leave your mark. You're like get a few questions in and talk to her. So yeah, she ended up like posting a picture.
Did you
about
know
it.
you were on her Instagram? Like,
In the moment, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think imagine 13-year-old you meeting your role model, and then she posting it on your
post you.
Instagram, and everyone at the camp was like, "Oh my gosh, Nider just posted you," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, she just posted me." So yeah.
and did how long did it take you to tell Hill that?
Yeah, fast
hey,
forward.
Hey,
like,
do you remember
7-8 years
like,
later?
every
that
every camp I was thinking about it. I was like, you posted me, but I didn't want to say anything. I was like, maybe if I make it and then we, kind of get on a deeper level, like I'll bring it up. And then finally, like, I was like, do you remember the video with Rock? Like,
Oh yeah, the mini mics.
Yeah, the mini mics. And she was like, do you remember this picture? And Halo was like, oh my gosh.
That is unbelievable. So
Yeah.
then what was it like to like finally like get to be teammates and like play with somebody that you've looked up to your whole life?
It was so cool. I was like pinching myself. Like there were moments in the game where like it was more of the beginning stages because you kind of have to lock it in. But we were just like, I watched you growing up. Like this is crazy. I'm on a line with you right now. And then, you kind of have to get out of the fever dream. And you're like, all right, I'm supposed to be here. Like this is how it should be. Like so just kind of living in the moment and just like putting the kind of fangirling away.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And you even, you guys got so close that you felt comfortable trying to pull a prank on her.
Oh yeah, that was gutsy.
That was bold, yeah.
Right
Yeah.
after she
I gotta
said
know,
like
even
the
work.
record.
I gotta know my place. That's not it.
But yeah, so how did it start?
She put a name tag that said Hannah on my helmet, and got through the first 5 minutes of practice, and then Caroline Harvey was like, "Dude, what's
Another rookie move.
another rookie move?" Telling me, I know. I'm sure.
Yeah,
people,
you gotta let the joke go
Yeah,
on.
I'm sure
KK
people-
had probably no idea though. She's
Yeah.
just like, Bilks, like you got your name on your helmet.
And I was like, "What?" Like, and then I rip off the Hannah, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And then I'm asking everyone, I'm like, "Who did it? Who did it?" And everyone's is staying loyal to Nider. They're like not telling.
Yeah. I think you came up to me. You're like, was it Kess?
Yeah.
Was it you?
You were like,
I'm like,
no.
no.
Straight
I
face,
maybe
no.
started that trick, but then
Yeah, and
yeah.
then
You gotta be. She's a prankster. So the longer you sit next to her in the locker room, you're either gonna be like in on it or
Yeah.
she'll get you.
I know. Hopefully I'm in on it.
I
'Cause-
can break it to you now that I ended up selling you out tonight for
Oh my
who
gosh.
put the water under the helmet.
When I try to get her back,
And it
that's
didn't
just
move.
that's
The
just who
cup
I
didn't
am though.
move
Like
like
if
an
you take a
inch.
shot at me, I'm gonna take a shot back. Like
Yeah.
it was a failed mission, but it was a
You're
valiant
gonna go down
effort.
trying.
Yeah, I'm gonna go down trying. Exactly.
The best was like it was like pretty well placed, like full water cup.
I know
underneath
she
Hill's
like
helmet.
picked up her helmet
She like
and over it.
Yeah.
I know. I
It
was
somehow
like,
just didn't even.
who
touch
doesn't
it.
just like pull their helmet? Like
It was
come
like
on.
literally like the Saints were watching over.
Yeah,
like her.
I
They were
know
like-
the prank saints.
Yeah.
Oh,
What else do we got? Do you have anything else?
Not really, like just
Oh.
what you're looking forward to in your career. A little bit about the college hockey year right now. Like, who do you think that the team to beat are in the East and West besides Boston College?
Besides Boston College, I like that. I mean, Ohio State is reigning national championship champions, so obviously them. The Gophers aren't looking too bad either. They got Heisey. That kid's all right. Zummy. So, I mean, yeah, Minnesota, Wisconsin, obviously, are always kind of the top. But, I think we might take people by surprise this year. So,
I think so too, Bilks.
We'll be watching. We'll be
Yeah.
watching.
Awesome.
I'll be rooting for the Eags.
Yeah.
Kess may be rooting for the Gophers and
Eags
Zami,
forever.
Heisey, Murph, but I'll represent the Eags on this podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, one more thing I actually had on here that I have a bone to pick with you about taking over the Aux. You're a part-timer.
gosh. That was brutal.
How do you feel
I was
that your
so
tryout
nervous.
went? Do you feel good about it? You kind
man.
of took the easy way out to play a big booty mix to
Yeah,
start.
I did. Yeah, I've never done the aux. Like even in my locker room, like in my college locker room, like I'm not on aux. So I
It's a
think
hard
when you guys were
position.
like do aux, I was like, what? Like, but obviously I'm not gonna say no. Like I'll be like, okay, I know my role. Okay, I'll do it. So yeah, that was stressful, but gotta play it safe with the big booty mixes.
Yeah,
'cause
you came around though. You actually had some like really good songs.
I like soft music, so I think it's kind of like a hot take too. Like
I do too. Kess was making fun of me literally a couple hours ago, like on
Yeah.
the ride. Like she only listens to sad music. Like,
it's great. Like they're like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I just like soft music. Like it's good. But I think before the games, it's kind of a unique like music selection. Like I'll listen to rap and then I'll go to like country and then I'll go to like, I don't know, EDM. Like
I'm good.
Great song. Great song. Yeah, so I think I have a unique taste, so I don't think it's like for everyone. So I was like, I don't think I'm good on aux.
We'll give you another tryout.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I'll be
you're-
prepared.
You're still
for
in
this
the
time.
running, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you gotta feel out the vibe.
Yeah.
Like, what
Yeah.
are the girls like?
You gotta
know?
feel out the vibe, and like also you're not gonna please everybody.
Exactly.
Like you
Yeah.
just have to take that people aren't gonna like some of the songs you choose.
rules for the aux.
But my like strategy is I'm more so gonna choose the songs of people that are like kind of like louder that are gonna be like, oh, I love this song.
Yeah, yeah.
So then it's like
Get rocked. Being
everybody's like,
oh, great tune.
Yeah, locker room loves this song.
And then you have people with their AirPods in. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh man. I remember at camp one time. I think it was the June camp, and we were like team white or whatever, and Dex was on my team, and she was like had her AirPods in. I was like,
she's serious.
what are you like? I was like, what could she possibly listen to? Because I don't think she liked the music. And then like I see her phone light up, and it's like "Praying" by Kesha.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like,
So you can kind of get like on her level with that.
I know. I was like,
You guys
hey,
could sync up phones.
I know. I just thought that was funny.
That is hilarious. Yeah, you thought maybe she needed something more upbeat.
Yeah, right? Like, so out of pocket.
Well, we talked about candy and how you love candy, and there's something that we're doing on every podcast. It's called the Starting Five, and we're just kind of listing our starting five in a certain category. And
Okay.
with you, we're going to do candy, so.
Love that.
It's going to be hard to narrow
Love
down
that.
for you, I'm sure.
That is. I need like a top 100.
Do you have a lot of cavities?
No, I floss.
Oh, see,
I
that's
make
the big
sure.
key,
I
yeah.
make sure I
Good
floss.
for you.
Top 5. Okay. Number 1, we'll go Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah.
That's great. Had
Same.
those. Had
We
those
actually
before
both
the
have
game.
that as our number one.
Oh,
Sour
my
Patch
gosh,
Kids.
Yeah. Number 2, just like sour gummy worms.
That's a good one.
Number 3, the Denmark like
Sour
straws.
Those
Oh
were
my
Those were
unbelievable.
actually better than
I haven't been able to find them here. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna order them off Amazon from Denmark.
They
Like
may
they
be
were
better
so
than
good.
the Sour Punch straws, like
Oh,
the OG.
way better,
right?
way better.
I
Yeah,
don't know
because
what
they're
it
like
is, but
thinner.
they're better,
I think
yeah.
they're thinner, so it's like, I don't know. It's
Yeah, they're like
so
shorter
good.
too. It's like
And it's probably doesn't have all like the preservatives in it too from America. Like it's
we're
probably,
thinking
like-
about that when we're eating candy.
Yeah, right. Okay, I'll do that. Number 3. Number 4, what are like the rainbow strips?
Yeah.
The Airhead Extremes.
Airhead Extremes. Those are great. And then number 5, this was very popular amongst my team last night. It was the Nerd Gummies. Clusters. I have to hide that. It was
Yeah.
like pigeons
They're a hot
attacking
commodity.
attacking
You guys
food.
haven't
find
had
those
that
from your
yet.
coach?
What?
Andy Anastas,
What?
your coach? She loves those.
So I was like, I forgot them in my backpack, and then at BU, you know how it's like 2 separate locker rooms? Like the coaches were in their one locker room, and my backpack was in there, and I was like, oh shoot, my candy's over there. And so I had to like walk and get it. They're like, what's what's up, Bilks? And I was like, hey. And I like, they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, just getting something in my bag. And I like take the candy and like shove it in my pants and like scurry away. And then as soon as I like popped them open, like everyone I swear on my team was like, can I have some?
Like flocked to you.
Yeah, flocked me. But yeah, I think there's a study. There needs to be a study of like how good candy makes athletic performance, because
You think it enhances?
Yes, I gave one of my teammates some nerds or like the clusters, and she scored 2 goals yesterday. So
You
I
may
think
be
there's a
onto something.
correlation. Yeah.
And you're giving Kess your sour straws, and she
Yeah.
had her best world's
How did
performance.
she play? Yeah, exactly.
Well, we'll ask our nutritionist. We'll get her on here.
Oh, yeah. Only candy
a
though,
good
not a
top
big
5.
chocolate. Not a big
Yeah, you like a lot of
chocolate
sour
guy.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good.
You want to go?
Yeah, I'll rattle them off quick. The Sour Patch Kids, Sour Punch straws, peanut butter M&Ms.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
even love chocolate either, but like
Those are good.
Reese's, and then suckers. Like
Suckers?
every kind of sucker, but like I put Tootsie Pops
You
down.
like Tootsie Pops
With the gum in
especially?
the middle.
That's a blow pop.
Oh, is it
I like those ones. Yeah.
or like the Dum Dums?
Yeah, Dum Dums are no gum.
You like the caramel apple suckers.
Yeah.
You have like
We
bags
still
of
have those in the BC locker room.
My mom just sent me a care package of like all like she sent me like sour cherry things that I like from home, and
Yeah.
then like the caramel apple suckers, and she put sticky notes on all this
Oh,
stuff.
that's
Like such a mom, and she's like, share with your friends, like, and brush your teeth, like no cavities.
I'll steal a couple for you for like in our locker room, and
Yeah.
then in between periods, like I'll toss
Oh, every
them
time
up
I
to you.
skate at the rink, I'm
You take some in our
Oh.
locker.
I'm in the tape room. I'm getting snacks.
Oh my gosh, that's
If
hilarious.
you're low on core power chocolate milks, I probably took a few of those. I'm
help
in there.
yourself. Help yourself. You're a legend. So
Yeah. I mean, I don't have much different than you guys. I had Sour Patch Kids, Sour Punch straws, Skittles, big one
okay.
for me. The Nerds clusters. And then I threw in like a sweet one, the cookies and cream Hershey bar.
oh my
That's
gosh.
like the only like
Wow.
kind of chocolatey thing
I had
like.
one of those every day in like 6th grade.
They're so good.
Like so good. I don't know if I can eat them anymore because I had,
had
them
too many?
so much. Yeah,
It ruined it for you.
kind of.
All right. Well, that's it. Except, we got one more thing that we like to do with all of our guests. It's called the It Factor. And so basically what it is like what made you successful on your journey? Like what makes you you? Like what's your something special about you that has been able to help you like succeed?
I think, okay, I forgot to mention this, but on the ice, I think in 7th grade, I went to like a hockey academy.
7th grade.
In
So
Specific.
yeah.
Yeah, it was in,
On
in
this
This
day.
one time in 7th grade.
In 7th grade, I went to a hockey academy, and we like went to school from like 8 to 11, and then after we just like got out and could we practiced for like 2 hours. So I think I went from like I took a big step that 7th grade year, kind of like not doing school, but
yeah.
so I think that was, I look back and I was like that helped me a lot.
Putting in the work.
Putting in the work. And then off ice, like all credit to my older brother, Anthony. Like he has helped me on days where I'm like, hate the sport, I'm quitting. He's just like, just gives me advice and stuff. And after every game, I'll text him or call him. And, you know, he helps me out a lot, keeps me level headed. So I think I have to give a lot of credit to him.
Awesome. Hard work and family.
I love hearing
exactly.
that, and like hearing that, like, you know, like a lot of people don't talk about, but everybody struggles with the game, and like you love it, but like there are bad days, and it's
Oh my
like
gosh,
some days
yeah.
it's a struggle, and you need those people around you, like your teammates, your family, whoever it is, like
Yeah.
Support system.
Oh my gosh, yeah. There was days I mean, it's like a high school, but I was like, I can't play anymore or whatever. And he was like, just what would your younger self say? Like, so I always remember that. And then like my roommate, Abby Levy, and best friend, she's always like, after games too, that I'm like, we like ran to each other or whatever. And I'm like, oh, like I can't do this anymore. She's like, just have fun. Like she's so like up and like up and positive and stuff. So she keeps me level-headed a lot, and she's a great like support system to have as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's good to hear. Well, it's been great having you on here.
Yeah, this is
Thanks
awesome.
for coming on, Vilks.
Yeah, of course. I'm just having flashbacks from the bus from Copenhagen to Herning, and when you guys were like, we're going to start a podcast. And I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're like, what about?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Do we want to come on, though?
That's the thing. That's the things where you're like, hey, like, I'm going to do this. And you're like, yeah, okay, we'll see if it happens. And now we're in like a sick, like, place with like all these cameras, and it's actually happening. So I'm so pumped for you guys.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming on, being one of our first guests.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
We'll be following along, like, gonna be a stud on the U.S. team for a while, and it's an honor to be your teammate now. So everybody,
Right back at ya.
Watch out for Hannah Bilka.
Yep.
You can. What's your Instagram?
Hannah Bilka 19.
Hannah Bilka 19 won't be on it during tournaments because she's focused, but
Exactly.
follow her. You can also give our podcast a follow on the Keller and Kess show. You can listen to us on the YouTube channel for TorchPro. Also Apple and Spotify, you can listen as well. We know you'll be listening. You'll be itching for the next episode, so follow along.